Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have therapists qualified in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other damn therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka done. Whew. Okay, so we've got a big topic today. First of all, I want to get some things out of the way. Susanna Quintana, her book is available in bookstores, and you can also get them from her, I believe, as well on her website. So she's the girl. If you are outside of Arizona and you need somebody to talk to about narcissistic abuse, it's SusannaQuintana.com. She is your girl. I can only counsel people that are inside Arizona. Okay, of course, my books are available on Amazon and Audible. So, and I do the reading because I like to read my own stuff. So, because I've heard some of the other readers, and I don't really like them. So anyway, there's that. So there are these guys. Shahida's new book is coming out in October 20th. And it's, I can't remember the name of it. It's highly sensitive. How to deal with toxic people if you're highly sensitive, something like that. Anyway, that's Shahida's book. She's, you can pre-order it on Amazon. So Shahida, she's amazing. Arabi, get her book. Now, if you are going through a divorce, Splitting is the one you want. So Bill Eddy and Randy Krieger, who wrote Stop Walking on Eggshells. Great book. If you're going through divorce, this will tell you exactly what to expect and exactly what they're going to do and what you need to be doing when they do what they do. So when they do that voodoo that they do so well. So yeah, anyway, there's that. Okay, so at the end of the discussion, I'm going to be giving you guys some websites or some apps that you can use if you're in an abusive relationship that will help keep you safe. So, John, you'll need to get me that piece of paper that I gave to you. So there is that. Okay. All right. So today's topic is the maladaptive ways that narcissists communicate, if you can call it that. So what a narcissist does. Let's start with this. Narcissists are in it for the win. They are in it to win it. They don't care about understanding. They don't care about getting your point of view. They don't care about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, or how to meet you halfway. They don't care because to them, it's a win. It's got to be a win. They have to win. So with a healthy, normal person, let's make this very clear. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you. With a healthy, normal person, communication is a way to understand. So healthy couples, healthy people in general, don't really have arguments because an argument is an effort to win. That's what an argument is all about. It's an effort to win. You're arguing to win, right? Healthy people have discussions or they have disagreements. I don't get where you're coming from. Help me understand, right? So, but an argument is I'm going to win it and I'm going to say and do whatever I need to in order to win it. And that's what narcissists do. And this is what blows the mind of healthy, normal people that get involved with a narcissist. Because for us, our communication skills are, I want to understand. I want to, help me to facilitate a mutually acceptable agreement so that we can come together and at least compromise and both parties get what they need, right? That's not what a narcissist does. A narcissist argues. A narcissist will always argue because they cannot handle not winning. So a discussion is, okay, let's discuss this. Let's understand each other's point of view. Let's come to a mutually agreeable middle ground, right? Or a disagreement. I don't get where you're coming from. Help me understand. This doesn't seem logical or this doesn't seem right. Help me get where you're coming from. And then the other person explains and then you explain your part. And then again, you come to a mutually agreeable middle ground. With a narcissist, remember, all, nothing, good, bad, black, white, very much splitting, and they have to win. They have to win. Disagreements are normal. But with a healthy person, you're trying to figure out how to come to middle ground. With a narcissist, it's I will win at all costs. And here are the things that they use to win at all costs. So, and let me just make this very clear. If somebody is in it to win it, like that's their whole goal, like I'm going to win this argument. I'm going to win this. I'm going to be right. I'm right. Ego, right? I'm going to win. I'm right. You're wrong. I have to be up. You have to be down. If that is what they're doing, if they're in it to win it, they have already lost the relationship. Let me just say that again. If somebody is in it to win it, I'm going to win this argument. I'm going to be right. You're going to be down and I'm going to be up. They've already lost the relationship. You killed the relationship. Healthy, normal communication is not about winning. It is about understanding. Okay. And a narcissist will never do that. So here are the sneaky little things that narcissists do in discussions to turn it into an argument and to win. Because what they want to do is they keep us on our toes and confused. And let's talk about that. So let's talk about word salad. So what a narcissist will do is you will catch them dead to rights in something. They will have cheated on you, or they will have done something inappropriate, or they will have harmed your emotions. They will have hurt your feelings. They will have insulted you or done something heinous, and you call them out on it, right? The next thing you know, they're dragging stuff up from years ago, years and years and years ago, bringing it forward and somehow twisting it, word salad, and making it all your fault and taking the focus off of them. That's word salad. So what word salad is say, for example, they spent money that they shouldn't have, and you call them on it. What they will then do is they will try to twist it back so that you're the bad guy. So they'll do something like, well, I deserve to have nice things too. And you know what? You spend money on this, that, and the other. Notice how they flipped it. You spend money on this, that, and the other thing. And suddenly you're on the defensive. And that's their whole goal, guys. That is their whole goal, is to get the target of abuse on the defensive, literally on the ropes. So I don't know if you know anything about boxing, but the last thing you want to be is on the ropes, because that means you're losing and you're probably going to go KTO, total KTO, TKO. Got that one backwards. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go down. You're going to go down, and it's not going to be pretty. And it's going to be them winning and you losing, right? So there's no understanding there. They're not interested in understanding why you spent money on groceries, right? They'll twist it so that you're the bad guy, that you spent money too. You see, you spend money too, and you did this and that, and I deserve that. And you know what? Your Aunt Bertha, da-da-da-da-da. And they suddenly start not making sense, and it has nothing to do with what the original conversation was, which was, you spent the rent money on a motorcycle. What the fuck, dude or dudette? Do you see where I'm going with that? And what they'll do is they'll twist that. Well, I deserve it, and you bought this and that and the other thing. And you know what? The other week when Aunt Bertha did da-da-da-da-da, and it doesn't even make sense. It's not even anything to do with them spending the rent money on the motorcycle. So that's word salad. It's confusing. It doesn't even make sense. It's like literally, it won't make sense. It's just like words, just jumbled out words coming out. Well, I deserve to be happy, and I deserve this. And well, you know, dog-faced banana patch. I mean, they don't really say dog-faced banana patch, but they'll just start throwing out words, and you're sitting there, your brain starts, fizzing like an Alka-Seltzer going, what the actual fuck just happened? Like, what the hell? And they do this so that they create doubt. They want to throw you off track. If you are able to stay calm, there's a great saying, I think it's by Lao Tzu. He says, if you can rein in your emotions and allow the waters to calm, the correct course of action will come to you. In other words, narcissists like to provoke. They like to provoke. They want to get you emotionally wound up. Like, a little wind-up doll, you wind it up, wind it up, wind it up, wind it up, and then and it goes, right? So they wind you up so that when you're now on the defensive and you're having to defend yourself and be right or survive and not be wrong, that you're going to be like confused and not be able to attack the correct thing. And what they want is to take this focus off of what the topic is, because they're in the wrong, and to confuse you and to get cognitive dissonance going. And that's the other thing they will do, is in the middle of this argument where they have to win, they will do the whole, well, you're remembering it wrong. Gaslighting, right? You're remembering it wrong. I never said that. I never did that. That never happened. Prove it to me. Da-da-da. Again, putting the target of abuse on defense, having to explain themselves. And we fall for it. When we're in the abusive relationship, and sometimes even after we get out of the abusive relationship, we fall for the having to explain ourselves. We don't need to explain ourselves. So let's go back to the rent issue again. Let's say that they blew the money on a motorcycle. or something stupid, right? Obviously not shelter. They spent it on something that was not needed. So they will take it to stuff that happened 20 years ago, or they'll do word salad and try to confuse the issue, or they'll bring up something that has nothing to do with the current issue of where the fuck are we going to get the rent money from? And they'll try to keep you focused on all of this surface stuff as opposed to the real issue, which is we don't have any rent money. Why the hell did you spend it on a motorcycle? So the reason they do the word salad and the reason they do the gaslighting and rewriting history, etc., is to create doubt in our minds, right? Cognitive dissonance. So incoming information is not matching what we know. And we're like deer in the headlights. And this is where our fight, flight, freeze, or fawn kicks in. And a lot of us, unfortunately, have got the fawn response or the freeze response. And then they just go to town and we're standing there like deer in the headlights going, what the fuck just happened? What? I mean, it's really, and then they'll convince you that you don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. That's another one of their favorite little things that they do. So you're crazy, you're this, you're that. So they have effectively used word salad to flip the script, to put it back on you. You're now on the ropes having to defend yourself because you're feeling like you're being made wrong. Because you are. And our normal response to being made wrong, if the little kid is running the show, is to tit for tat. And that's exactly what they want. That is exactly what they want. They want the tit for tat because now you're so caught up in fighting this surface stuff that the whole issue with the rent has been completely forgotten. And that's their intent. They don't want you to remember what the real issue is. They don't want you to address it. They don't want you to call them on it. They don't want you to be right, even though you are, because spending rent money on something that's not rent money is pretty fucking stupid. So, but this is what abusers do. And in fact, next week, I want to talk about financial abuse. And it's not just with romantic partners. I want to talk about with family, with friends, financial abuse, because this has been coming up for my clients like crazy. So I want to bring this up because I think it's important. Anyway, so they will use gaslighting, rewriting history, word salad to flip the script to get you on the defensive so that you're busy trying to defend yourself from all this crazy stuff they're now accusing you of. So suddenly it goes from they spent the rent money to, well, you did this, and this. And our little brains go, but I didn't. Little kid trying to defend themselves. So then we start arguing with them. And that's when they get that smirk. That's when they get that narcissistic smirk. They gotcha. It's a gotcha smirk. So it's kind of like a, gotcha. I won. Fuck you. They do this nasty little narcissistic smirk. I'd like to wipe it off their fucking face. Anyway, the point being is that they twist it. They use gaslighting. They use lying, manipulation, rewriting history, etc., so that you're not even focused in on the original issue, which is they spent the rent money. So I hope that explains word salad. Half the time when they're doing the word salad, it sounds crazy. It doesn't even make sense. It almost is dog-faced banana patch. It's not quite that bad, but it is just word salad. It's just jumbling out of different, questions and this and that and the other thing. And nothing connects. And of course, if you're a sane person listening to this, you're like, what the fuck? Which is what their intent is. They want to create fear. They want to create obligation. They want to create guilt, which is the fog. And then you couple that with cognitive dissonance, where incoming information doesn't match what you know to be true. And so now you're questioning your sanity, yourself. Well, gosh, maybe they really did deserve the motorcycle. What? Ow. That's what they do. They twist it to the point where we actually start buying into their version of reality, and their version of reality is upside down land. So word salad is where they just spew and try to confuse the situation so that they win. It's all about the win for them. If anyone is in it to win it, you've already lost the relationship. I cannot say that enough. Healthy, normal relationships are not about the win. They're about the understanding. You want to understand each other and you want to come to a mutually acceptable middle ground. That's what adults do. But narcissists do not operate as adults. They are operating on the level of about a 2 to 4-year-old. So, and 2 to 4-year-olds have to win. So that's word salad. It's just a jumble of words trying to confuse you to get you off the original topic. So word salad. Snarkiness and passive aggressive. Let's talk about that. And they use that too. So snark, and don't forget the narcissistic sneer. As soon as you see one of the narcissists doing a sneer, like they just said something and you're confused as hell, and then you see that little on their face, you know that it's a game. You know it's a game. I see it in therapy all the time when a narcissist comes into my realm and they start trying to pull their bullshit, and I'm just like, motherfucker, I see what you're doing. You know, they don't like that. That's usually when they start screaming and saying, you know, nasty, horrible things, and then go screaming out of the appointment. And I'm like, don't let the screen door hit you in the ass. Bye. So anyway, the point being is, that's word salad. Snarkiness and passive aggressive. So snarkiness. Snarky is when somebody is unnecessarily sarcastic or sardonic, you know. And there's times, I mean, obviously there are times when it's okay to be a little sardonic or a little sarcastic, you know, but not at the expense of someone you love. Okay? That's not okay. But narcissists do that all the time. And their favorite thing is to say something cutting, horrible, mean, nasty, vicious, and then follow that up with, oh, I was just kidding. Bull fucking shit, they were kidding. They were not kidding. Things said in jest are very often meant, and you better pay attention to that. So when they say horrible, awful things and follow that up with just kidding, they are not kidding. That is not a joke. Hurting people is not a joke. Harming people is not a joke. So the whole just kidding thing, bullshit. So, but that's what they do. And so they do that to erode your self-esteem, self-confidence, knowingness, certainty. So the first thing I teach people when they get out of one of these relationships is mirror work, certainty. You know what you know. Trust your gut. Don't listen to your head. Don't listen to your heart. Listen to your gut. What they do with passive aggressiveness and snarkiness is try to erode that knowingness. That is their whole point, is to try to erode your knowingness, your certainty. So they use snarkiness to feel superior. They do. Yeah. And they'll say snarky little under the breath, nasty things, you know, about other people at first, but then pretty soon they turn that on the target. So if you're with somebody and they're being snarky, like just snarky, just mean, just nasty to like total strangers, wait staff, whatever, you know, you don't want to be around those people because eventually they will turn it on you. That is what they do. So snarkiness is where it's always this cutting kind of, I know better, I'm smarter, I'm better, I'm more educated, I'm this, I'm that. Yeah, fuck that shit. They do that and they put other people down, or they slip in these nasty little under the breath comments or under the breath insults, or, you know, or they're just nasty. And it's always with the, I'm just kidding. So no, they're not just kidding. They are dead fucking serious. Now, this is done, like I said, to erode your sense of self. It's done to erode your self-esteem and your knowingness because they're so cocksure of themselves that you're afraid that they're going to turn it on you. And then they do, you know, they do anyway. It's like no one is safe from a narcissist. They even attack the people that are sucking up to them. So just got to watch politics to see that. Anyway, the point being is that they do that. And it's done to make you shut up. Now, here's the other thing. They do word salad, they do passive aggressive. So it's done with resentment, you know? So it's kind of like they'll do the dishes, but they'll do them half-assed. That's passive aggressive, right? Or they'll do something, but it's done half-assed and it's done with resentment because they're basically full-bore addicts and narcissists. The only emotion they really have a grip on is anger, and resentment is anger. And so passive-aggressive is always done with this sense of anger or resentment, and it's never done out of love. It's never, you know, it's like when they're doing things passive-aggressively, it's like they'll intentionally ruin things. Oh, it was an accident. Bullshit, motherfucker. I don't believe in accidents. I don't believe in coincidences either. So, it's like they'll break things. Oh, that was an accident. That's passive aggressive. If you've got something, ooh, this I see a lot. So when somebody is ready to leave, okay, this is usually where most of the passive aggressive stuff starts coming out. Narcissists are, for the most part, cowards. They are. They talk a big talk, but when the rubber meets the road, they're cowards. So what they'll do is they'll use intimidation. That's another thing that they use in arguments, is intimidation. So they'll threaten. I'm going to hurt your dog. I'm going to hurt your cat. I'm going to flush the fish down the toilet. I'm going to, all sorts of horrible things. Or when they know you're leaving, right, they'll, accidentally break your stuff. Oh, that was an accident. Oh, oops, the vacuum cleaner ran into the desk and all your collectibles fell over, or whatever their bullshit story is. And they'll do that. That's passive aggressive. They'll destroy things. That what they really want to do is destroy you. And if they're crazy enough, those are the ones you got to watch out for, because those are the dark triads, which are the psychopath, Machiavellian, and narcissist. And those are the ones that end up stalking and trying to destroy you, like literally. So anyway, so they will passive aggressively destroy your stuff, or hurt your pet, or not take care of the pet, or, something. Circle of hell. Not a worse enough circle of hell for people that hurt pets. Seriously. Hang on just a second. Okay, so that's passive aggressive. It's like harming things, destroying things. This is something else they'll do. Let's say you're not leaving them. Let's say that you recognize that you need to get a job, right? But they don't want you out of the house. They don't want you leaving. They don't want you getting money. They don't want you. So they will do something to destroy your ability to get a job, passive aggressively. Internet will go out and they won't fix it, or they'll make it so the internet is not working for just your computer, or, whatever. I mean, they're just passive aggressive. Or back in the day when we actually did go to a job, Lord, how I miss those days. It would be like they would make sure you didn't have gas money, or they would accidentally on purpose make sure that the tires were flat. I've heard of narcissists, making sure the tires were flat, slashing the tires, or doing something like that, or making sure there's not enough gas, or not intentionally not changing the oil, telling the person that they're changing the oil, and then the engine blows up. They're crazy. They're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Anyway, that's all passive aggressive. That's all sabotage. That's a way to keep the person stuck. And we're going to talk more about that next week, because like I said, I've got a ton of clients that are dealing with that financial kind of abuse and that financial kind of passive aggressiveness. So, okay, so I covered word salad, passive aggressive, snark, stonewalling. Okay, so stonewalling, and people often get this confused, and I want to make this very, 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 very clear. Stonewalling is done with the intent of harming the target, okay? It's done to manipulate the target into conforming to whatever the narcissist wants, or whatever the abuser wants. It is not done no contact. So I've had people go, well, but I'm being accused of stonewalling and I've gone no contact. Okay, let us be clear here. No contact means you are done. You're done. You're done being abused. You are done with them. You are done having contact. There is no relationship. You are done. You have said no to the abuse, no to the abuser, and you will no longer be contacting them in any way, shape, or form. That is no contact. That means blocking them on social media, email, phone, filing a restraining order, whatever you need to do. That's no contact. Stonewalling is when the relationship is still limping along. The abuser does not get their way. Okay, somehow you stopped them from spending the rent money on a motorcycle. So now what they're going to do is they're going to punish you. And the way they punish is cold shoulder. Cold shoulder, that's what it is. It's what they do is they go, I'm going to punish you by not speaking to you. And I have seen them do it for days, weeks, months, until they get their way. That's what they do. They do the whole, I'm not talking to you. I'm not going to give you any affection. I'm not going to, be a normal human being. They don't. So stonewalling is done to force the target of abuse to acquiesce to letting them have the motorcycle, basically. And this is why I dislike narcissists so much. They use this tactic a lot, especially with targets of abuse that have got abandonment issues. So people with borderline, even on the lower end of the spectrum, when they do that, that is an abandonment, and that flares up all of the trauma from that poor person's past, and it causes them to panic, and it causes them to give in, and that is exactly what the fucking narcissist wants. Fuck you. So yeah, that's why they do it. And it works even with people that don't have abandonment issues, because we love, right? We have emotion. We love this person that we thought was wonderful, mirrored us, happy, joyful, funny, yada, yada, yada. And then the mask slips, and we still haven't caught up with the idea that that is not the person that we loved. So they do this shunning. It's shunning, basically. They're shunning us. They're cold shouldering us. They're not giving us love or attention or whatever. And it causes a great deal of pain, whether you've got abandonment issues or not. And the reason I get so pissed off is because borderline personality disorder has a lot of personality. Yes, they do. Has a lot of abandonment. And so they do that knowing that it is going to destroy them. And with a person that doesn't have a lot of abandonment, they do it knowing that it is going to hurt like a motherfucker, and that it's going to force you to turn around and go, okay, honey, yeah, go ahead and buy the motorcycle with the rent money. That's what they're doing it for. They're in it to win it. And that will kill any healthy, normal relationship. So all of these tactics are done to win. All of these tactics are done to manipulate, to force the person, to coerce the person into giving the narcissist their way. That's really what it is. So whether it's the word salad not even making sense so that you're so confused and on the ropes trying to defend yourself that the original issue gets lost, or because they're being snarky and passive aggressive and, destroying your things or threatening your pets or just kidding, eventually what you do when you're in this type of relationship, if you haven't had the self-esteem, is that you start making your world smaller and smaller and smaller to please them. And you start trying to avoid upsetting them. And that's what they want. And they want you to give in, and they want you to be afraid of them. It's intimidation. They rule by intimidation, just even implied, if there's even the slightest hint that they're going to rage. Raging is another technique that they use to win arguments. So they start raging, and they use word salad while they are raging. It doesn't even make sense. I mean, it's just this of all this stuff, and you're just like, whoa, your hair is blowing back, and you're like, what the fuck? So they use that to shut us down, to shut us up, to make us acquiesce, to give in to them, to let them have their way. And if the little kid is running the show, we do, because the little kid is like, holy fuck, holy shit, I'm in danger. Well, we are. But, little kid doesn't quite get the big picture. So anyway, these are the tactics that abusers use. They use stonewalling, the shunning, because it hurts. And they know that we're going to be constantly reaching out going, come back, I love you. Please don't do this. Come back. Well, they don't care. That's when they give you that fucking smirk. Like, ha ha, you love me. I don't love you. Ha ha. But in our mind, we're like, we think they're a normal person. They're not. That's not normal. That is not normal. Raging, stonewalling, snark, that's not normal. Passive aggressive, that sure as fuck is not normal. Word salad, that sure as fucking hell is not normal. Do you see where I'm going with that? So if you recognize any of these things in a relationship that you're in, whether that is family, friends, boss, whatever, get the hell out. Get out. These people are disordered. They will not get better. They will not change. You cannot love them into health and sanity. If you could, it'd be a beautiful, sunny, shiny world. It's not. So you can't do that. So Anyway, that's it. Okay, before we dive into the questions, I just wanted to find my reading glasses. I was reading Counseling Today, and in the August 2020 Counseling Today, there are page 49, page 50. Okay, there are apps that you can use to stay safe. So there's several apps that exist that can offer crucial support and assist to clients. My Plan. So My Plan is a safety plan. So it basically helps you get together a safety plan. Now, John is going to be posting the information in the chat on this. So My Plan is one of them. One app that can be useful is called My Plan. It's little m, big P, all one word. This app allows clients to craft safety plans and keep them stored in the cloud of their devices. Plans are saved in the app itself, which is then backed up to the cloud, making it difficult for perpetrators/abusers to access. That's why I like that one. There is another one called Noonlight, Noonlight. Again, John's going to be putting this on the chat. Noonlight allows individuals to call emergency services without having to dial 911. Now, this is only in America, guys. I don't know about other countries. So in actively unsafe situations, this app can save lives. It can be especially useful for clients who remain in harm's way or continue to have contact with their abuser. So Noonlight. The other one is Aspire News, another app helpful for clients affected by unsafe situations or ongoing abuse is Aspire News, two words. In the event that the client's phone is being monitored, which they do. This app appears as an ordinary news app with daily headlines, weather reports, and so on. Embedded in the help section of the app, however, are emergency contacts, resources, and other information on shelters and other support services. So I think that's a really good one, especially if you feel like your phone is being monitored. The next one is Be Safe, the relatively new Be Safe, little b, capital SAFE, all one word. Personal safety app offers a variety of helpful tools and resources. It provides specific supports to clients who may be enduring ongoing abusive situations. So you guys might want to check that one out. There's the National Human Trafficking Hotline, which John will put up. The crisis text line can be reached by texting 741-741. John's going to put that up as well. Callers are then connected to a trained crisis counselor. So that's not a bad idea. So I strongly suggest you look into these apps if you are still in a situation. Oh, wow, going from glasses to regular. Holy cow. If you are still in a situation where you are in danger in any way, shape, or form, I think that would be, those apps would be really good, because part of the issue is that they do monitor. If they feel they're losing control, they will tighten their grip and make it scarier and scarier, which is why I want to talk about financial abuse next time, because that's happening with a lot of people right now with this whole quarantine thing. Okay, going into questions. Okay, hang on. Okay, a dear aunt who I adore is saying she is going to be the mediator between me and my narc mom, who is claiming she misses me and wants to see me. How do I stress that I don't want her to? Holy cow. Okay. You're going to have to be saying no, and I mean it. Okay, when I was working with kids at the New Song Center and at the Dougie Center, we would teach them to say no, stop, and I mean it. So if like another kid was doing something they didn't like, no, stop, and I mean it. So it's part of, she's going to have whatever reaction she's going to have. She is definitely, if it's this woman's sister, she is definitely going to have her own opinions and whatever and try to coerce you into having a relationship. You just tell her point blank, it's not going to happen. So don't. If you want to continue a relationship with me, stop, and I mean it. And you don't need to explain yourself. Again, let's go back to the whole narcissist thing. Their whole goal is to get us on the ropes explaining ourselves. Well, why? Why are you doing that? Why do you think that? You know, this, that, and the other thing. And you did this and you did that, blah, 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 blah. And so they try to demand that we start explaining. You don't owe anybody an explanation. If you don't want contact with your mother, that is your prerogative. Thanks, aunt, that I love dearly. I appreciate it, but you need to stop. No, and I mean it. And please don't bring it up again. You have a right to draw that boundary. It's a boundary. Disease to Please, Harriet Breaker. Codependent No More and Beyond Codependent No More by Melanie Beattie. Anything by Pia Melody. So, you know, it's yeah. It's a boundary. It's a boundary. And you have a right to say no. If you don't want contact with somebody, you don't have to have them. But I would definitely tell her, no, please stop. And I mean it. This will not happen. I don't want you to be the mediator. This relationship is not able to be fixed. And if it is able to be fixed, I'll let you know. But you stick to no. You stick to no. What would happen if you remained silent and let them rant with word salad? Basically, here's the problem. No matter what you do, you're wrong. Let's just put that out on the table right here and now. No matter what you do, you're wrong. So if you remain silent and let them rant, that's not good enough. That's not, because what they want is they want a grand opera scene. They want a reason to paint you as the bad guy. And if you say nothing, then they get mad at you for saying nothing and then demand that you say something. And then, of course, we're off to the races because now you've said something and now they're, it's basically the best thing to do is to get yourself the hell out of there. Seriously, get out. If you can, get out. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you do have to stay silent and just sit there and listen to it, but then plan your exit to get your exit. I like that. X them out of your life. Plan your exit to get out of there. And yeah, no matter what you do, they're still going to come unglued. There's no right answer. It's like if you go left, they'll stand in front of you and block you off and scream at you there. If you go right, they'll stand in front of you and block you off and scream at you there. No matter what you do, you're wrong. There is no winning with them. There is no healthy with them. There is no understanding with them. There is no healthy relationship with them. Healthy people don't rant. Healthy people don't use word salad. Healthy people do not rage. Healthy people do not coerce, stonewall, harm, hurt, blame, shame, guilt trip, none of that. Okay. How to reconcile putting the anger and blame on the abuser with the hurt, pain, sadness of the fact that they themselves were victims of extreme abuse. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving, Pete Walker. So there is a difference between compassion and idiot compassion. So compassion is, wow, I see that they had extreme abuse. I get it, that this is why they act the way they do. And I am not going to accept their bullshit, their blame, their shame, their guilt. They chose, they did this. I'm not interested. Have a nice life. Bye-bye, right? Idiot compassion is where you go, oh my gosh, they had extreme abuse and gosh, I'm just not going to hold them accountable for anything they did. No, they are 100% responsible for their actions. You put it back on them. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Read it. Really good idea. Disease to Please, Harriet Breaker. Read that. Read anything by Pema Chodron about the nature of compassion versus idiot compassion. It's a really good thing. So you're going to have that. You're going to have that, oh my gosh, but they were abused themselves. Okay, it doesn't matter. I came from horrific abuse in my childhood. If you read my book, hello, what's wrong with your dad? I did not grow up to be a rager, a shamer, a blamer, a guilter, a whatever. It's a choice. It's a fucking choice. And they choose. They choose. How many times have they been offered counseling? How many times have family, friends, strangers, whatever said, dude, dudette, you've got a problem. Go see a counselor, get some help. Lots of times. And they choose consistently not to. So that's on them. That is totally on them. Don't you take it on yourself. Okay. How to deal with narcissists who repeatedly interrupt and hijack conversations by speaking on behalf of others. And those others don't seem to have a problem with it. Okay, well, you might be dealing with flying monkeys at that point, so be aware of that. You might be dealing with somebody who is, has been abused in their lives, and so they acquiesce, they fawn, they give into. They allow the stronger personality to hijack and take over and talk for them. Really, it's kind of up to the person that they are speaking for on behalf of others. It's up to them to do something, but you don't have to participate. You can walk the fuck away. You can just be like, okay, and then leave. Because it's really up to the person that's being hijacked. Like, so for example, like when I'm doing a counseling session and I've got a couple in front of me, and one is a narcissist and one is the target of abuse, whether that's a borderline or whether that's just an empath or whatever. So they will interrupt the other person, talk over them, interrupt, etc. And I'll let that happen like once. But if it happens again, I'll be like, you need to be quiet. Let this person finish. And that's usually when they stand up and walk out. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the situation. Like in a counseling situation, I need to have both parties being able to speak. But, you know, in a social situation, if the people who are being overrun and hijacked, et cetera, and they don't have a problem with it, they're not doing anything, it's not really your place because it's not your problem. So what you can do though is book out. Oh, look at the time. Got a dental appointment. Got to go. Peace out. That type of thing. How do you deal with people who use guilt as a manipulation, acting like a victim to get favors? Oh, I don't. I don't. It's so, here's the thing. If it's something that they can easily do themselves, then I'd be like, you can easily do this yourself. I'm sorry, I don't have time. You know, you don't fall for it. So this is the thing. So with hermit borderline and covert narcissists, these are the two kind of interlocking ones. They use the victim thing. Victim, victim, victim. Poor me, I'm a victim. I can't do this. Oh, this is too hard. Oh, I can't, you know, blah, 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 blah. And so they use the guilt to create fear, obligation, and guilt. That is your cue right there that this relationship is not healthy in any way, shape, or form. So what you want to start doing is disconnecting yourself from this person. You don't need them in your life, and they're probably not going to change, especially if they're a covert narcissist. You know, if they're a covert narcissist, this is a way of life for them. This is who they are, and they're doing it on purpose, and they will never stop because it serves their purpose. So you start saying no. You start saying no. Even if you could easily do it for them, you start saying no. You draw boundaries. No, don't have time. Sorry. We'll have to ask somebody else, you know, and they won't like that. Too bad. Too bad. It's not your job to be the world's making everybody happy person. That's not your job. Your job is to take care of you and yours, and that is it. So, and even if this person is yours, it's not your job because these people are unpleasable. So the more you do things for them out of guilt, the more they're going to ask because they're always pushing the envelope. They want to see how far they can go. They do, because it's an ego trip for them. It's a power and ego trip. So don't do it. Start saying, no, I don't have time. I'm sorry, you'll have to ask somebody else. And don't even apologize. No, I don't have time. Ask somebody else. Don't even apologize. Because then they'll take that apology and be like, oh, they're sorry. Okay, I can work that little guilt thing into a bleeding, you know, wound. No, you don't want to do that. Okay, can you please remind us of the Buddhist prayer for myself and everyone? Okay, so the metta prayer is, you start with yourself first. May I have peace. May I have freedom from suffering. May I have all that I need, food, shelter, companionship. May I have peace. Then you move on to somebody you don't know. So like, I don't know, the person who delivers your groceries. May they have peace. May they have freedom from suffering. May they have all that they need, food, shelter, companionship. May they have peace. Then you move on to your abuser. And this is where most people go, fuck you, Chris. I'm like, I know. Take a deep breath. You'll get over it. It's okay. May they have peace. May they have freedom from suffering because suffering is what causes the problems in this world. May they have all that they need, food, shelter, companionship. You may even throw in, may they figure it the fuck out. May they have peace. So what you do is you do each one like 3 to 5 times. You know, 3 to 5 times for yourself, 3 to 5 times for somebody you don't know, and then 3 to 5 times with the person you're having the most problems with. So yeah, so that's the Buddhist prayer. And it does help at night. I really love doing that one. Do all sociopaths have clinical narcissism? No. So antisocial is what a sociopath is. So it's gone through a variety of name changes through the years. It used to be psychopath, and then it became sociopath, and now it's antisocial. So no, not all of them have got clinical narcissism, but they do have a sense of the rules do not apply to them. They are above the law. They're smarter, they're better, they're whatever. Do they all have clinical narcissism? I don't think so. No, because those are two separate things. But usually, if they've got the antisocial, they've usually got the narcissism as well. So not always, but usually. So hope that answered the question. I think my mom is gaslighting me, but she says that I'm imagining it. Ooh, oh, okay. So how can I tell if I'm actually being gaslighted or not? So here's the thing. I suggest people start writing things down. You know, on this conversation, this day, especially if you know in your gut, like, this is going to be an issue later on. I need to write this down. So in your journal, you document. You write it down. You do this, you know, this happened, this person said this was the gist of this conversation. I'm putting this down for my own memory. You know, it just happened at 9:05, blah, blah, blah. So you write it down. And then if something happens and the person comes back and goes, oh, I never said that, da, 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 da. You're, you know, and then later on, you're imagining that I disagreed with you or whatever. Then you can go back to your journal and be like, holy crap, I need to get the fuck out of here. So do you see where I'm going with that? So you do it for your own. You're not doing it to prove to them that they're gaslighting. Let me make that perfectly clear. Hang on. You are never doing this to show them that they're gaslighting. This is just for you, so that you know you're not crazy, because their whole goal is to make you feel like you are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So you want to write it down for you. You're not going to be like, see, you said this on this day, because then they'll just tell you, oh, I never said that. You're lying. So it's not about them, guys. It's about you. It's about you knowing what you said and how the conversation went down, what they said, so that when they do gaslight, you can go back and go, yes, my gut was correct. Well, there you go. And then you want to get the fuck out of that relationship as quickly as possible. You can either go no contact or you can go limited contact, okay? And you really want to, if you have to be in contact with them, you want to gray rock like a boss. Go home and journal it out, you know, and then when they try to manipulate and control, you can be, you know, reading that and be like, oh yeah, no, she's lying again. He's lying again. They're gaslighting again, you know, whatever. So it's for you. So yeah, gray rock like a boss if you have to be around them. If you can go no contact, go no contact. So there is that. Would all people who repeatedly wake you up at night for no reason be disordered people? Yes. Yes, because healthy, normal people don't wake other people up intentionally. They don't, because we recognize the value of sleep. And sleeping is when we are at our most vulnerable, you know, because we're asleep. So to wake somebody up intentionally, banging doors, slamming closets, hitting pots and pans together, you know, that kind of thing. That's intentional, and that's intended to create sleep deprivation, which then makes the target of abuse more malleable to gaslighting, rewriting history, word salad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, people who repeatedly wake you up at night for no reason, yeah, absolutely, because a healthy, normal person doesn't do that because they have RESPECT. Find out what it means to you. Yeah, it's respect. If you love somebody, you respect them. If you respect them, you love them. And if you love and respect them, you don't go around waking them up in the dead of the night all the time. You don't. So, I mean, occasionally if, you know, something happens and somebody comes in late and they trip over something, okay, that's an accident. That's different. Okay, accident. But, you know, it's like if they're apologetic for it and it does not happen again, then okay. But if it happens over and over and over and over and over and over, then that's a pattern. And that says there's something weird going on. So yeah. Okay. They pretend they don't understand. And when you kindly tell them you really need to rest. Yeah, they bullshit. They're doing it on purpose. Absolutely. Get away from them. I've been reading online lately that being an ultra independent is a trauma response. Is this true? And what are your thoughts? Well, yeah, it can be. It absolutely can be. So when we've been in a traumatic situation, some of us either fall into the victim mode, right? Or they go so far to the other side where it's like, I will make sure that ain't nobody on the face of the planet gonna hurt me again. And they're like, you know, I can do it my own damn self, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, that can be a trauma response, as in you're pushing everybody away, you're not accepting help, you don't need help, you don't want help. You know, you also unfortunately push away relationships, you also unfortunately push away compliments, you also unfortunately push away things that could be a good thing for you. So Because remember, as human beings, we're not supposed to be codependent, but we are definitely pack animals. We are social. We like, for the most part, being around other human beings as long as they're healthy, happy, normal, not abusers. So we like being around other people. And the ultra independent ones are the ones that are like, nope, don't need anybody, don't want anybody, piss off, that kind of thing. So yeah, it can absolutely be a trauma response. It absolutely can. And it's usually born of somebody has betrayed you, somebody has harmed you, somebody has created trauma with you, and your little inner child just kind of said, fuck that noise. I don't need anybody. I can do it my own damn self. Fuck off, and I don't blame them, I mean, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Like I said, if one way to think of it is, if the trauma never happened, kids don't usually pop out of the womb going, fuck the world, I don't want to be around anybody. Kids usually pop out of the womb and want to be with other kids. Have you ever watched kids? They're so fun to watch. It's like, they get out on the playground and the next thing you know, they've made best friends with somebody they've never seen before and are probably never going to see again. That's the nature of a healthy child, right? But when somebody's gone through trauma, it's stay away, don't want you, nope, I'm going to protect myself, that kind of thing. So if there were no trauma, I suspect that the ultra independent would not be happening because we are naturally social. We like to be around other people that are of like mind, kind, gentle, fun, empathic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. My passive aggressive ex said he's not in love with me anymore. Blamed me for getting upset. He broke up our relationship and got married quickly. How do I find peace with this? Okay, hang on. Okay. So here's the deal. Narcissists do not love. Abusers do not love. There was never any real love there because love and respect are the same thing. They do not respect themselves. They do not respect another living human being. They don't. So people are objects to them. And so when they break up with somebody, they say the most horrible things that no sane human being would say. In a healthy breakup, it's, this is just not working. I wish you well. Have a nice life, Captcha on the flip side. It's like, go be good, go have a great life. This is just not working, right? So that's the nice way to do it. With a narcissist, it's always like, I don't love you anymore. I don't, you were this and you were that and you guns, right? So they also can't handle emotions, like real emotions. Like they can handle anger. They love anger, and our tears to them are delicious unless it's not what they're looking for. So when somebody gets upset and starts crying sincerely because, you loved this person, that pisses them off. They get angry at tears. A healthy, normal person does not get angry at tears. A healthy, normal person goes, wow, okay, you're hurting. I'm sorry. It just is not working out. And I don't know what to tell you except that we are never going to work. I'm sorry. Do you see where I'm going with that? So when they get angry at tears, that tells me, ooh, they really can't cope with any other emotion other than anger. So there is that. Broke up the relationship and got married quickly. Yes, narcissists will do that. Abusers will do that. Once they realize that they're not getting the narcissistic supply that they want, they will move on lightning fast, like lightning fast, immediately getting involved in another relationship, immediately moving in, engaging, may or may not get married, but, moving things along quickly kind of thing. As long as they've got their hooks in that other person, they're happy. So how you find peace with this is last week I did a thing on detachment. You are no longer the girlfriend or boyfriend. I don't know what that relationship is, but you're no longer the girlfriend or the boyfriend. You have to move him or her into another part of your heart, and you have to move you on. It's like, okay, yeah, I will always cherish this relationship I had. I will always love the person I thought I knew, but they've shown me who they really are. The person I knew is no longer here. I'm going to have to move on with my life and let them go. They don't love anybody. And it may take a year or two for them to blow up their relationship with their new supply. It depends on whether that new supply is another narcissist or is a really good supply. And when I say a really good supply, I mean extremely damaged that they can feed off of. Okay, you don't want that. So you find peace with it by letting them go. Write them a go fuck you letter. Write them a goodbye letter. Dear so-and-so, here's the good. Don't get stuck in that. Don't get stuck in that. Here's the good, the bad, the ugly, the horrific, and at the very, very end, okay, you said you don't love me anymore. I will always love you, and I will always cherish what we had. However, I am kicking you out of my head. I am raising the rent. You don't get to live in my head rent-free anymore, and fuck you for moving on so quickly. Fuck the fuckity fuck out of fucking fuck you, asshole. Goodbye. Trot it out to the barbecue. Read it out loud once. Burn it. Let it go. Okay, you got to give up that fantasy that they're going to figure it out and realize that you were the love of their life. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just not. They've moved on to another supply. You need to shut that door. You need to go no contact. And you need to start working on you. You deserve better. You deserve to have your own self-love. You need to be able to wake up and look in that mirror and go, hi, good to see you. Have a great day. I give you permission to like yourself, and then have a great day and like yourself. You have the right to have boundaries and say no. And you have the right to have a relationship with a healthy person that is loving and kind and gentle and wonderful. And in order to do that, you need to work on you. So it's no longer about him. It's now about you. All right. Hope that answered the question. Any advice on how to let people in after leaving an abusive relationship? It's been 7 months and I'm afraid to get close to anyone. Okay, well, so here's the deal. Grieving takes a year. Of a healthy, normal grieving takes a year, okay? If it's abuse, it'll take longer, all right? So in this year or two period, it's important you work on yourself. It's important you get with a good trauma therapist. Get all the books I recommend. The Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker. CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. The Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor. And you start working all of these books to figure out how and why you got into that abusive relationship in the first place. Right? So it's important to work on self-esteem. It's important to work on boundaries. It's important to work on the original wound, mom, dad, whoever, who set you up for this abusive relationship. You got to work on you. Of course, you're going to be afraid of being close to anybody because you still don't know who you are yet. Once you really work on you, self-esteem, boundaries, CPTSD, inner child, you really get that down and you have a good sense of who you are, the fear is going to go away because you'll have your certainty back. You will know who you are. So take this time to work on you. The first year is grieving. The first year is, holy shit, what the fuck just happened? This devalue and discard happened. I don't know who the hell I am. What the fuck? And then you're having to get through all the firsts. Right? Without that person and realizing that that person was an illusion and never was the person who really truly loved you because they don't really truly love anybody. So you got to get through all of that. And then the second year, you keep working on you and discovering who you are, what you want. What do you want? Where do you want to go? What are your wants? What are your needs? What will make you happy? That's what you start working on is you, your self-esteem. So really take this time to work on you. Once you work on you, that fear of other people will start melting away because your bullshit detector will be on high and you'll be trusting your gut, not your head, not your heart. You're going to trust your gut. And if somebody comes into your realm that even smells like a narcissist, you're going to be like, hell no. Bye-bye. Do you see where I'm going with that? So yeah, take this time to work on you. Okay, guys, I am losing my voice, so I'm going to call it good for today. Next week, I want to talk about financial abuse, and I want to talk about it with romantic bosses, friendships, other things like that. So we're going to talk about financial abuse and how to recognize it and how to get out of it. So, there it is. All right, guys, have a great week, and I will find my cursor. Where did it go? And I will talk to you next week. Bye.